But notifications from YouTube.
All right.
Hello.
We are back.
We are back. Hopefully YouTube isn't being a dick this time.
Yeah, the last stream we had with Dave Smith was that was really good.
YouTube run by a woman, so YouTube is being a cunt.
Oh, okay. So YouTube. Now this video is gonna be.
Yeah, I know, right? Like 10 seconds. You said a bad word. How dare you?
Yeah, then it's gonna start fast forwarding like it did in the last one.
Yeah, that wasn't good. But yeah. So we are here with Maddness, as he likes to be called, who has been absent.
He's been absent for a while, but we know him through Twitter. So if you'd like to introduce yourself, please go ahead.
Well, I'm Maddness. I'm completely fucking insane.
Insane.
I suck at introducing myself.
You know, it's funny. Every time we have someone, whenever we have the guest introduce themselves, we either get someone who's really, they're really elaborate and they say, "Oh, I did this and I'm that," and other people just be like, "Hi, I'm Owen Benjamin."
Yeah, there's some people who just say their name and then we're like, "Oh, now what do we do?"
Yeah, now what?
Are we supposed to introduce?
But at least with Owen Benjamin, he knows how to make it funny. So he was like, "Hi, I'm Owen Benjamin. I like this and I like pizza."
Yeah.
Whatever.
So I know a lot of people on Twitter were wondering what happened to you, and some people said that they missed you and they wanted to come back. So
yeah, probably after this live stream.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. So, was there anything that triggered it specifically, or was it just a culmination?
Just needed a break, or
yeah.
A combination of things that caused a bit of a break.
Do you care to share what, you don't have to say every detail, but you want to share what those are? Or?
That would be kind of hard to explain exactly, but a part of it that I still live here and I fucking hate it here, and the people who work here make stuff worse. What is it? We have our own jobs, so sometimes doing around the house to clean things or do the garden and shit like that. I have like the living room, but for some reason they decided okay, we think you don't doing good enough job, so you can only do it when we are here. And then they don't show up, and then they're gonna write down I did not do my shit, and I'm gonna get later shit on that I don't do my things around the house. Like, what the fuck for bullshit is that?
Okay, so and also I'm not gonna say like where specifically you are, but you are in Europe, right?
Yep, within the EU. And Article 13 scares the living shit out of me.
What is
Article 13? I cannot do jack shit about it.
What is Article 13?
What's it? There's a new rule, but from the EU, but concerns the internet and shit like that. And that are not exactly good rules. Like even about articles, certain articles can no longer be seen within the EU. Well, we can figure out what for kind of articles it's going to be. Probably, I think I would understand certain YouTube channels can probably no longer being seen.
So it's basically like
they can do a lot of censorship and authoritarian bullshit. And they're probably gonna crack down harder on certain people they're gonna post.
So it sounds like they're cracking down on censorship, but whatever they consider that needs to be censored, that's what they're going to censor.
Yeah, so there's probably a chance that when they're gonna rule the thing that I probably can go be arrested. Know myself.
Crazy. You can be arrested for something that you say on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can happen.
I just hope it doesn't get to that point here. Else we're gonna be arrested.
I know, right?
Well, the one thing I'm pretty much certain I cannot go to the UK anyway. If they know who the fuck I am, then I'm banned from going to the UK. After what happened, Lawrence Charter, Tommy Robinson, I have no chance of going to the fucking country.
Yeah, it's crazy what happened to him. can't believe that's actually happening. He's just reporting on news, and then
even news that what everybody already fucking knew. You didn't share secret information. Just information was out there.
Yeah, people are new. Like people know this is going on, but because he's reporting on it now, it's considered racist, and that's how it's going now. Kind of scary.
Despite the fact Islam is not even a race, it's a religion. I call it more a cult, but
yeah, no, it's stupid because people make that argument that it's racist, but
it's actually funny is I know a Muslim here where I stated here that some people call like Islamophobia and that some people call if you're against Islam you're a racist. He found it absolutely fucking retarded that people call it that anti-Islamic people are racist. And Islamophobia he found either a very retarded word. And it comes from a Muslim guy himself. He's not like the average Muslim that you usually see.
That's good that at least there's some sane people out there, I guess.
He's either anti-EU, anti-mass immigration. And comparatively, he was more pro Trump than pro Hillary, technically. He's not like on Trump's side, but if he had to choose, he was more on Trump's side.
Yeah. He did. Did he grow up there, or did he grow up in the Middle East?
No, he came from Africa.
Oh, okay. That's weird. There are people who actually agree with what the conservatives are saying.
I don't think it only is not South Africa.
Yeah.
Northern where he came from. Because South Africa is a lot more anti-white and bullshit like that.
Oh yeah, I was. I don't know if you saw Lauren Southern's documentary that she put out.
A few of those episodes.
Yeah.
Plus, Daily Show or Daily Shit, I would call it. But Trevor Noah is a lot of time on TV. He is from South Africa, so you can hear a lot of anti-white rhetoric from him. I hate that guy.
It's weird because I didn't know it was so bad down there, but it just seems like it's turning totally socialist in South Africa.
No, but it is slowly turning socialist there as well here. The healthcare is basically socialist here. That's why the healthcare is absolute fucking shit here. Insurance is absolute fucking trash. After the shit, but they promise to pay out, they don't pay out with insurance anymore. Important medication no longer getting paid, but despite the fact you pay the insurance for that shit.
So you pay out of taxes, or do you pay?
Because I'm below minimum wage, I personally don't pay taxes. Well, besides the tax when you buy shit, but for money what I get, I don't get taxes. But everybody is forced to have an insurance, but you don't get penalized if you don't have it. That is a little bit weird, but like I said, they keep removing certain medications that are important for people out of the insurance. Sometimes not even mentioning it. What if you have glasses? Apparently, when you have glasses, you pay like more in the end for the glasses part of the insurance. Then in the end you get back from them a lot more you pay in. So when the website where we compare insurances, they usually say from leave the glass insurance out of it. It is better to save up your own money for it.
Yeah, it sounds like it, because if you pay insurance and then you don't end up getting any of the products that you're technically paying for in premiums, then or in taxes, premiums, or whatever, then what's the point?
Right.
Yeah, what I had two years ago when I was in far deeper depression than I was last couple of weeks. What's it? I went to a doctor for it, and they were sent to another place for the help with depression, but depression was too bad for them to help there, so I sent somewhere else. But that person only does 10, was then only paid by insurance, and then I had to go, but I needed more than that. So in the end, she was like, "No, you have to go to a different place where they can better handle you." But that part would not be paid by the insurance, and you're already below minimum wage, so you can never pay that.
So basically,
I was fucked in the time period.
Yeah, it seems like either way, if you're paying into it, you're not getting what you're paying.
Nope.
You're not getting back what you're paying
It's
into.
getting worse. The more socialist you become, the worse it gets.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And I think we're getting bad here. Like healthcare is pretty inflated. The cost here is pretty bad also. Like if you don't have insurance, then you get fined, and then you can choose to not have insurance or just get fined. But then also if you end up getting sick, then like a regular doctor visit is ridiculously expensive now because of the inflated prices.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that happened with the dentist here. The dentist could decide their own prices, and that skyrocketed the prices. And so a lot of insurance like, no, we're not gonna pay anymore for that shit. And we only pay half of it. The rest comes out of your own pocket.
so they set their own price.
Smart.
How do they set the prices then?
They can decide for themselves, but there was no connection with everything. So doctors were like, okay, we just make a price up. Or the dentist, what it was. So most of the insurance did only 50%, but now it got rolled back that the dentist no longer could do it. But apparently insurance was still like, no, we're not going to do 50%. Some in time decided from you know what, let's do 75%. But in the end, you pay a lot more insurance for that shit.
Okay, remind me never not to move to the EU.
So have you looked into moving out?
I've looked in different. You have of course the standard move thing, just move out, but that still costs lots of money. You have job, but I have no idea how to get a job.
It's hard to get a country if you don't have any connections, I think.
Yeah, that is really hard. So that's what I'm saying. I have no idea how. Plus, here either I need money even still if I want to do it on my own, and I get not able to get a normal job here thanks to fucking government. Apparently, the government have decided here that the immigrants or the refugees, even if they are fucking lazy as fuck, have more chance of job than people like who have autism, ADHD.
That's crazy. So they wouldn't take their own citizens first.
Plus, apparently, if I earn above a certain amount a month, I lose the money what I get, and that means that I go lower in what amount I'm getting in a month. So you have to. There's literally a gap between money what I have to jump over with jobs to actually able to earn money.
Yeah. So I guess I can see how that's kind of impossible to save up to move then.
Well, like I said, I've looked into different things. Of course, you have the standard like partnership. But who the fuck wants to do that with me? But you have you can have adult adoption, but I cannot consider it an option because the problem is those people. Well, first of all, they have to be at least 8 years older than me. Plus, they have to meet both my parents.
Oh,
and that will never go good because my parents both love manipulating people, so that will never go well. And plus, if one signs yes, the other will sign no because both my parents hate each other. Yeah.
It sounds like a great relationship there.
I know, right?
Oh, it's even worse. Because after my younger brother was drowned, I got blamed for it. I was 6 and my younger brother was 4 and I got blamed for it. Despite the fact my father was there and other people were there, but I was still the one getting blamed. Mother was me that was drowned instead of my younger brother. And both claimed in front of the judge and to other people. My father claimed in front of the judge that he will help me go through it because he was there too. So we kept both help to go through each other. Never did. My mother kept claiming to people that she had done it, but she have never helped me help go through it as well.
So, crap. Now I was gonna ask something and then I forgot.
I'm good at that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Oh, okay, that's right. I was gonna ask, how's it living there with autism and ADHD?
Well, part of the autism might cause some of the things that will be harder to explain about yourself. And well, there's like people like my mother thinks that autism equalized that you're fucking retarded, like the retarded from the mentally challenged retarded, not the retarded as the control left is.
Yeah.
But that's what how some people actually still see it. That if you're autism, you automatically are fucking stupid. What's absolutely dumb, but despite the fact I am outsmart my mother without fucking problem.
I know a lot of people who have autism though who are like functioning normally and are very smart.
Yeah,
So.
there are tons of different type of autism. Although I have either a certain theory about that some of those like alphabet people are actually people with autism. Plus, that's either what is some people who have studied better than I did have they claim it as well that there is a connection between gender dysphoria and autism. Meaning that some people who think they have gender dysphoria have actually autism.
Really? I didn't hear that before.
Yeah, because the control F, of course, don't want that shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, they even apparently want to, what I understand, that they want to remove gender dysphoria as a mental disorder. But I will say that actually, when the end, cause more harm to people with gender dysphoria, because that means they no longer get the medical help what they need.
Yeah.
So why are they gonna do that? Like, what's the reason that they're giving?
Well, because they think, of course, that mental disorder, mental illness is the same thing, what is not, but and they give mental illness that you have them that's a bad thing. So it depends what for mental illness you have or mental disorder. It can be a negative thing, but the person itself doesn't have to be a bad person for it. But for some reason they think it is. That's why they don't want gender dysphoria to be a mental disorder because they're stupid.
So it's like a stigma against mental illness, then, right?
Basically, but that makes only the people who have it actually worse in what the fuck they have. Because then you see them no longer as people. That's the same thing what fucking happened here. The people who work here, most of them don't see us as people.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Especially the previous head. And she fucking hated me a lot. She broke a few couple times rules and I went to her boss. And I was open that I did that because there's the people who were too afraid to do so. And she really hated me afterwards because she wanted to push me in place that were not fun. There was one house she wanted to put me in. It was but 3 rooms. One big room but had like gigantic windows where you had most day had fucking sun coming into the room. And I'm not someone who likes heated very much. Especially sun. So that would be a fucking deadly room for me. The other side is the middle room. That was the room that's next to it. That was a room that was basically where the neighbors can watch you eat if you sit in your room.
Jeez.
That's how close the window the houses were. They can literally watch into your room. So that was not a fun place. And the other room that was basically a broom closet. So there were a lot of options. So I said no, and then the lady like, no, you have to take it because you have to move out. I'm like, fuck that shit. I'm not gonna take any of those rooms.
Huh. You should have taken one where the neighbors can see you. Then you can make.
I know, right?
Then you can talk to people through the window.
In the end, I moved to a different place because apparently that was some place that had never mentioned that he tried to keep secret from me. But I knew people who already moved out in moving around into a similar place like this, so that was easy. But then she became the head of this place as well, and that fucked things more up. It kind of caused the internet got a lot worse. What I don't want to fix. Well, one of my windows is still not fixed. Like I live here like 4 or 5 years, and the window is still not fixed.
Wow.
The stairs. There is some layer on top of it for beauty, but that is half broken, so people can literally trip over things. They don't want to fix it. How it is with light bulbs, it is still half confusing. We must pay it or they must pay it. We don't know.
And this is like an apartment. That's crazy.
No, it's more like this. What is it? Is more a house where you live with like I live with 4 other people at the moment. It's 3, but because my one already moved out. And but we have each our own room, what basically function as an either's own living room, but there is one living room for us together.
Yeah, like a community house.
Sort of, but the rooms is not big. Like really, my room is fucking small as fuck, and it filled with bugs at the moment. I have literally a walk path for my bed where I can brush my teeth and where my fridge is, and the other walk path goes to outside my room. That's how full it is, my room.
Wow.
Yeah, because I don't trust other people in the house, because we had people in the house who were crazy as fuck, and we already mentioned it to them that they were crazy, but they were like, nah, we don't give a fuck until they got attacked. Then they decided to do something. We had someone who had a lot of psychos, and it went worse and worse and worse. That guy almost burned down the house even. One of them even claimed it never happened, but you can see the burning marks in the fucking table. And still he fucking denies it. That guy who worked there, that's where he gone. What is it? But in the end, he was removed from my house because the housemate who I don't know left. And I complained a lot about it because we didn't feel safe in the house. So they said, okay, we're gonna put it in another place where they will more work and where other people live. But then apparently he got so worse at the psychosis, he actually threw knives at one of the people who worked there. Then they decided, well, you know what? Now we're gonna do some shit about it. But not when he lived here. Then we don't do shit.
At least he didn't burn the place down.
Yeah, it almost happened. He even went once in my room, just opened the door. I had no. He can like that's one reason why I closed my door at night, because I don't want to come into my room when I was sleeping with a knife or something. Well, at least he's now gone, but we don't know anymore with these crazy people. And we had another one who was constantly on drugs. The other one, psychosis, either had drugs, but not as bad as this one had. The other guy stole shit. The work laptop what they had here, the people who work here, was stolen. They claim they don't know who the fuck it is, but fuck's sake, we know who it is because the same person kept stealing. And probably he did some prostitution outside the house, illegal prostitution.
Sounds like
just to get money for drugs. He lost his phone. He went hang about with dubious people who he let into the house. He accidentally lost his keys. Yeah, like we feel really safe in his house.
That sounds like you have to be on your guard all the time.
Yeah, not healthy.
So when did you start living there?
4 or 5 years ago in this place. I lost a bit of time perspective after I was in my deep depression. I lost a bit of time. It felt longer than it actually was.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, I'm thinking that environment doesn't really help the depression.
If anything, it's worse.
Yeah, that's one reason why I want to get the fuck out of here. But yeah, money.
Hard.
Plus, I'm still like sometimes when where the organization, another organization where we get our monthly money from the government, or like with that those letters sometimes come in. I'm sometimes like afraid from what if they're gonna ask money back. That's what I can honestly see them sometimes doing that, like that it's gonna send a letter like, okay, you need to send money back to us.
You think that would actually happen?
Well, they already have stolen other money from us. Like we don't get our complete set of money. Like of course we get our money with the bank accounts after the rent is for this place is paid. But before that, they already take a bit of money away. What we're supposed to get back at the end of the year, like a 13-month kind of thing.
Mhm.
But apparently they've removed that, so and that money we never get back.
Just sounds like they're screwing you over like really bad.
Yeah, vacation money either got dropped. That was that was supposed to be like what we normally get in a month. That was like $1,000. What then got removed down to only 600.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So
What? Why did they bring it down?
Hmm?
Why did they bring it down?
I have no idea why the fuck they bring down the vacation. Probably to give more to the fucking immigrants. And they have to do jack shit.
More worried about the people coming in than the people already.
Yeah, that's exactly what the government here is doing. They love stealing money from the people who have like literally the least and give it to the immigrants.
I think that's one thing that a lot of people ignore when they talk about immigration because
Mhm.
people who are coming in as immigrants are going to be taking on jobs and also using public services and sometimes even using welfare. But then it takes away from the people who are already disadvantaged in the country.
Plus, they're getting free houses, so people who have to move out from like there are places where you can learn how to live on your own and with your autism and shit and or your ADD, but because your parents can only learn you so much. So the shift is sometimes people get to a place where they can learn you how to live on your own, etc. The problem is usually at those places are like was 5 years, but apparently the government decided to make it 2 years. Like if you cannot teach some people in 2 years everything what you need to know to live on your own, especially if you already have disabilities, that is not going to work. But what is it? Then usually they have to go move to a new place, or they can live into a place where I live, where you still have some help, or they can live on their own. They have like a little bit of help, like someone come like once a week, come by and help you with like cleaning your fucking toilet because you cannot do that. Or is there once a week so you have someone to talk with? Because there are people who really cannot go socialize much. So it's always good to have people around there, but sometimes can go by and like, hey, and do more business. I check how your bank account is going and shit like that. But hey, if the immigrants come in and steal this house away, that means the people cannot move further, and that get locked up. So you have a housing problem. Those people cannot move further.
Yeah, I've heard a lot
So
about housing problems in some of those countries. So
and apparently they've either decided to so people need to be getting really the psychosis problem need to be getting far worse than what it was to get even locked up in places where they can be away from society because they're dangerous. They have moved up on how dangerous they have to be. What is absolute fucking stupid. Because it means a lot of crazy people can just walk out there and start killing people. Because hey, we need those places so we can let the immigrants live in the place, right?
yeah, so instead of keeping the people who are dangerous away or who need some help, then
Those people cannot get help anymore. That's either what we have at some of those housemates who actually need more professional help, because we have an like a numbering system. Like you have like 0 are like most people who can live on their own. But when you have disability, you start from level 1 to a level 6. 1 is where you can basically live on your own, but sometimes someone have to go over there for like small things, or help you with if you need a new job, so people can be there with you and stuff like that. Or you need to go to a doctor, but your favorite doctor, someone can be there for you as well.
Mhm.
Because you cannot always rely on your parents for that shit, right?
Yeah.
But then, and each level cat, you need more and more health. 6 is literally what you need the most. This place where I live in was supposed to be for people who are a bit like 2, 3 type level, and is now more made for people with who need at least 4. Despite the fact already with 5 you're supposed to be already pretty much locked up in places. But now no longer is. Now you need to be 6 to be locked up.
Well, hopefully, we'll turn to that, right? So.
Yeah, and I'm like a lower tier 3. I can technically be in 2 if I get the actual proper help if I fucking need to. Or probably become a 1. But I will never get that here. Especially if they keep not want to do their fucking job and then blame it on me. Yeah, that is gonna help people. Because that's either that is similar to a partnership, but then it works different. If what I've read is if you're like a person help, I don't know the right English word for it. If that person moves to like USA, and like you really dependent on the person, or if your parents move to USA, you're dependent on the person, you can legally move with them.
Mm-hmm.
So at this so basically, I believe you still officially technically live under this country, but you can then live legally in another country that is not under the EU. And if you, but I've understood if I can make someone there, basically the personal helper, that means I can legally live in USA.
Oh, okay. So you'd be able to move then.
Yeah, only finding the right person who can help the time and is best suitable, because you need someone where you can actually basically what's it? What I can help them the best. You cannot get I want this random person to do this shit.
Seems like it would be hard to get the right person.
Yeah, right person. Yeah.
Because the person itself must either want to, of course.
Yeah. Someone there, Circle in the chat was talking about there was an immigrant in the EU with 3 wives who was receiving €250,000 a year in government handouts. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. This is a lot more than I get.
I know, right? Way more.
I get like 12,000 vacation money, adding what it would be like 1,800 a year.
How can you have? Oh, never mind. That's the question I was gonna. Because he said it with 3 wives, but I think I know the answer to that.
Oh.
Yeah, probably because either his wife did he get money for.
Yeah, because I think I remember hearing about that story. It's like for every wife that you get like a portion of government.
Oh, really?
What is absolutely fucking weird, because in every EU country you can only marry with one person, because apparently according to the religion they can have multiple wives, but is according to EU law completely illegal.
So does that? So I guess for them that's their exception then.
Yeah, they literally allowed to break the rule because their religion.
I wonder if that. I don't know. I heard something.
I believe that was Sweden.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I'm pretty sure that was Sweden.
Because Barbara made a video about it.
Oh, I didn't see that one. I didn't see her video on that. I know he has been making a lot of videos about. Or right now, she's been making a lot of videos about Slovenia and like Eastern Europe and migration.
Yeah, because now that they all come pouring in there as well.
Yeah, it sounds like they were going through there, right?
Yeah, through another country, through an passes where they couldn't go through, but now apparently they can. But if I still must say, the EU countries that well, we know for certain Sweden is already dead at the moment. Germany they really have to destroy themselves and crawl back up. It's really big, so they will never be the same again. Same as I'm pretty much certain with Holland. UK have exactly the same. France have added the country that is need to be massive in shit, so that what I'm saying. But stuff like Poland and Hungary are used the country. If they make a shift, it will not be big comparatively. There's only safe countries from.
Yeah, I heard Poland still has pretty strict immigration laws.
Yeah, but apparently some people already want to kick Poland and Hungary out the EU because hey, you don't want to be nice to immigrants.
Oh yeah, I heard
Uh,
they're like fining them or something for not taking in enough immigrants.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe Merkel wants that. Like
Yeah.
she wants, and she even want to go like now we're gonna bring back like families of families into the country. Like we already fucking full. Even the smaller countries have to take a lot of fucking people. Also, even especially Holland, that is one of the countries that have like I don't know the right English word for it. When there's like a lot of people on like per square mile, like more than most countries like Germany and shit like that, and they want to put more people on it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty small country. I don't know where they would have.
And I can't believe that if they're actually fining countries for not bringing in immigrants.
I'm pretty sure that was one.
That's crazy.
But I did what I already had when the funny is when they first started the EU and they were talking about open borders. I was still in my class, like I did middle school, and one thing I said to it was like, I'm pretty much certain that is that what I said was that was a shit idea, and I'm pretty much certain people gonna abuse it.
Yeah, that's the
And people
problem.
said, nah, that will not fucking happen.
Now look at it.
Yeah. Now
I'm like, I wish I was fucking wrong back then.
well, they're abusing it and giving the immigrants and all the new people coming in, you know, treating them like the royalty, and then people that are already citizens and all that.
Well, the illegal immigrants are getting treated like royalties. The legal immigrants gets to either treated like shit.
Well, the people who came there like regularly, like through illegal immigration.
Because that Muslim guy out of Africa, he either came illegally, and he have to work 2 jobs to keep his wife and his children basically bread on the thing, on the food on the and shit. In the time of when he did Ramadan, he got sick because he tried to walk out a bit too much while he didn't eat. That was not smart. So he could not work. That got him. That meaning he had less money for the time period. But the government would not give a shit because he was here illegally.
That doesn't make any sense, and that's kind of how it is here too. The legal immigrants come here. They have to pay so much money and wait like super long waiting times for their processing of the documents and everything. And then when they get here, like when you go into some of those interviews, you get basically interrogated like you're coming here to bomb the U.S. or something, and then get treated like a criminal up until the point that you get citizenship.
Yeah. And the illegals getting praised for like good things.
Yeah, then there's people who overstay their visas here, and then like they just get married to someone, and that's it. They were here illegally, and then they just get.
Well, if they actually found each other and like each other, I have no problem with it. But sometimes people are like, they're gonna go married and on the fed and shit like that. So threatening the other person like, you're gonna go married right the fuck now, so I can stay here.
Well, it's the problem because they're like, well, if I don't get married to some person, and then they could get married to their friend or something, and then it's a fraud, right? And then so someone who wants to get married the normal way gets treated like a criminal because they have to weed out people who are trying to do it for immigration purposes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's absolutely fucking stupid in my opinion.
Yeah. I think that if you're gonna have, you can't have open borders and a welfare state.
Yeah.
No, that is absolutely fucking retarded. That is the stupidest thing you can do.
Because that's a recipe for
Disaster.
draining all the resources and
Yeah, and you're seeing
redistributing
that
them.
now here and in the EU. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, especially. Fuck's sake.
I don't know. I mean, like if you say you just had open borders, but there was no welfare state.
Yeah, and people just made their own communities. Okay, I
Right.
might be okay with that.
Or what if there was closed borders, but there was also a welfare state? What that?
I don't know. I'm still against the welfare state in general.
Yeah.
But
Well, I say welfare state as far that people like who actually need help, like people who missing like arms, limbs, or like ADD of the actually are fucking retarded. Those people still need help. So that for that you still need welfare.
yeah, but you have
Banning out welfare is not a good idea in my opinion.
But what about like if you give them some kind of welfare, or like the government gives someone welfare who legit needs help, like you can see it. Okay, we need to help this person. Do you give them like a time frame? Like okay, maybe not necessarily like a physical disability or something like that, or just.
Are you talking about if you're out of work?
Yeah, if you're out of work, okay, you have this much amount of time, and if you don't get a job within this amount of time, because
that's what they should do with immigrants. Like you get here like if you get a few couple months, you get your money. If you don't get this time money, you get a job. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I think for people with disabilities, I mean, a lot of the people make an argument against libertarians, saying that we hate poor people and people with disabilities and things like that. But there are other ways to fund those types of programs for people that people would actually want to do. So, but I think in general, if you are going to have a welfare state and like a pretty significant one that's funded by taxes, then it has to be only for the citizens. You can't have people from outside of the country using it, because then things like this happen and people get disadvantaged, get taken or put to the back burner.
Unless the person actually who comes to the country in the child have like autism, you cannot say, okay, fuck it, you cannot help for that shit. The person still needs help for that. But that's like the only few exceptions. But if you get a real expert on that subject, they can, if they lie about it, they get caught and immediately thrown out of the country.
So Circle in the chat said that he found a story of a Syrian family with 11 children, 5,200 euros a month. So that's about 64,000 euros. Which I mean I don't know how much that would be for 11 children.
11 children.
Yeah.
Do they have 11 children?
Well, the question is, are those children actually from himself, or did he just bring some children with him?
Yeah, there is a problem with human trafficking for that kind of thing.
Yeah, and then especially child trafficking, and apparently it was like a couple thousand children just disappeared in the EU. I've met theories that some of them apparently are adults, but the government apparently don't know what the fuck they are. They just are gone. But I have never read anything about the ages, so it could be they're one of those adults claiming to be children. But you have those a lot as well, right? The ones who clearly look like 30s claim to be 17.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how.
How can you believe that shit? If you see a 30-year-old person who claims to be 17, are you gonna believe that? Of course not. You're gonna slap on the fucking face like, shut the fuck up, you're 30.
Like, how would you be able to know? Like, you need to like have an ID, or if you just tell, like, come on, you don't.
Some people look like at the 30s.
Come on now, what you dye your hair or something? No, that's natural.
No, there are people who look like in the 30s, 40s. You can basically just tell with people. There's a huge age difference. If someone was like N20s, who looked N20s, you could see, okay, that person can be 17. It is plausible. But someone who looks in the 30s or 40s, there's no way fuck that person can be 17.
Well, I'm sure people think I'm 17, or Nico. I think she's 13.
But yeah, like I said, you were like N20, so it is still somewhat believable. But someone who looks N30s, 40s, there is some big gap in things.
I don't know. Chaos Eve said legalize prostitution, legalize weed.
Yeah, that's super legal.
Well, I know here in America, like in terms of the weed thing, I know. I don't say alcohol. Oklahoma.
Alcohol.
Alcohol is also illegal.
Yeah, alcohol is illegal, but yeah,
But there's a
Oklahoma.
very high age limit. It's 21 in USA, right?
Yeah.
That's high. It was 16 here, and they upped it to 18. The funny is, the moment after a few couple months after the age limit, kids start using a lot with drugs. Apparently, that was really weird. The few couple months after up the age limit, kids 16 to 18 start using more drugs. They had to go to somewhere else.
But yeah, here in America, Oklahoma has been the most recent state to legalize weed in terms of medical purposes.
Medical weed is weak weed, by the way, very weak.
Yeah.
So, but USA weed in general is already weaker than what they sell in Holland. Even stronger weed doesn't have to be strong for someone. Certain people can have nothing happens with strong weed, but they can have heavy effects with weak weed.
I've never heard that.
Same as alcohol. Not every alcohol affects you the exact same way.
Well, yeah, some people who's never had alcohol before, and then someone who's had alcohol all the time, they get, I don't know, not immune, but they're resistant.
Was it? Scotch doesn't react the exact same way as beer does, and was how wine does. They all react a bit different on your body. Same as not every type of weed does and has what is different than weed. Have either, and let's add one thing: people with bipolar disorder can take weed. It can actually help them a bit, but if they take hash, it actually can worsen their condition.
Oh. That's like one of those, from what I know, bipolar is one of those conditions that can be really scary to go through, because I read a bunch of people's like books on it and their experience. Like I know one of my friends who immigrated from Australia to the US, she had bipolar disorder, and she had a blog and she wrote about her episodes and everything, like being manic and then depressed, and it seems like completely controls your life.
I've seen it, how it can affect people. I've seen people in person, and if you watch Shameless TV series, one of the kids, the gay guy, the ginger gay guy, have it as well. And the first couple of seasons, you can actually see him going through it, and it is not fun to see.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those.
Especially if you have to live with it. People who not even the person itself have it, but if you live with someone in the house who have it, it's either not fun for you to see it as well, because you cannot do much. You can try the best to comfort the person, but it only goes so far.
Yeah, a lot of people who had it were talking about, like, whenever they're in like relationships, that their partner doesn't know how to handle them. So
that's either the case with bipolar and certain forms of autism. They're both very easy to manipulate by people. There are people literally looking out for people with bipolar or certain forms of autism so they can manipulate those people into a relationship with them and abuse them.
That's sick.
Yeah, an ex-housemate, his ex-girlfriend, who had bipolar, had access and is dating at the moment someone apparently who either abuses people and they know how to manipulate people with bipolar because it's easy.
I didn't know that was a thing, but now I think about it, there's a lot of crazy people out there who do stuff like that. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's the case, like I said, that you can sort of tell autism. You can let them believe a lot of things. Like I said, how the control left easy can manipulate people with certain autisms. Like keep telling them that how bad it is, how bad white men are. Some of them actually gonna believe like I'm a good person, so I cannot be a white man. So they're gonna think, okay, that means I must be a transgender person because I cannot be bad.
That's kind of like a mental gymnastics.
Yeah. They kind of then manipulate themselves into thinking because they don't want to be bad, so they want to be something else, so they cannot be themselves.
Do you think the people who say that they're transracial or something like that might have?
They probably can have full autism. I've certain YouTubers who say they are transgender. I'm pretty much the active have autism.
Yeah, I think a lot of things are misdiagnosed or not totally understood.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. We need to study those things more, but the Control F don't want that shit. We don't want to study things because then we're gonna stumble on facts, and we don't want that shit. Like, I want to study more of those things.
Yeah, they should.
That's why one thing when I moved, I want to make videos about autism, ADD, and shit like that to explain people what it is. And what I want is that people then either send their own stories how to live with it, or how it is to have a family member who it is, or someone that dated how that was.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't. One thing what I have with it is that not just either people who like came out of the closet for their parents, like saying that they're transgender or they're gay or bi, whatever the fuck it is. You see a lot of those stories as well, right? But you never see the story from the other end. It's like why the parents were like happy with it or maybe against it. They could be against certain things because maybe something bad happened in the past, and that's why they against the kid are gay or something. Maybe the father is against it because when he was young, he was raped by a gay guy, and he's now as a young kid, he just now make the connection that gays are rapists, and that's why he don't want his son to be gay because he thinks they're rapist. I want to see more that people, not everyone who's against it is automatically against it because like, oh, be the religion or that because they're bigot or something. Now, it could be something traumatic happened in their life. Who the fuck knows? And I want more of the stories out there so people can understand and learn from each other with it.
Yeah, that would be a good like community to build where people can tell.
Yeah, because I want to go make the people make their own videos about that shit, like how it is. But I like how it is to live with autism, how it is to live with ADD, what the fuck you have, or even like family members who have it, so people can understand. Like because not every person with autism is the exact same, or people with ADD is the exact same, or ADD is the exact same, or every person with depression or bipolar. A lot of either personality faced. Same as you kind of see people with gender dysphoria, because I would say with Eve, with Blair, with Maya, with Taryn, and shit like that. Each of them experience having the dysphoria completely different.
Yeah.
None of them is the exact same.
I think there's different. I mean, yeah, you're right. Like each individual is going to have a different experience with that type of.
And how far certain things go. It's like the same with the autism. Not every person, because your personality dictates either on part of it. And like I said, how have you been treated? And especially with like say with gender dysphoria, is I don't form a bit of body dysphoria. And that can either express it in different ways, and how you've been treated by people. Like if people couldn't keep yelling, "You're a man, you're a man, you're a man," you want to go do more shit to look more women, or maybe you already look more. Maybe you have very heavy beard grow, and you don't want that. So that is going to affect you a lot more than someone who already looked very feminine from the start.
Yeah, I think the situation that you're in really does determine how that plays out in your life. Because
not everybody's life is the exact same, and everybody think like, oh, okay, it's all the exact same. No, it's not, and there have to be more so we can study those things better. and either the certain connections like ADD and ADHD have connections. Probably autism and dysphoria have connections. Probably a lot more have more connections, and we need actually to study those things. But hey, we don't want that. We don't want to study things because hey, we'd rather spend money on completely useless bullshit. What we probably already have like 10,000 from. Like they want more women's shelters. Like don't we already have like tons of those? Why the fuck do we need more?
And I know that there's some communities online that I've seen where they will take that and they'll make it into like an identity instead of talking about it as like something that they can study, you know? Like I don't know how to
identity, like what? Like what?
Like there's this group of people who are they're like saying that they're disabled is now like a category or like the same as a gender or a
Yeah, the alpha people basically. Or people who like keep switching between like mentally between different genders. Like one 5 minutes they're like men, then they're women, then they're non-binary, then they fucking whatnot that exist.
Yeah, I didn't know that those people were. I thought that was just kind of like a running joke, but no, there's actually people like that.
Yeah.
They really think that one day they can wake up and there'll be a different gender.
I've seen when I was feeding to Marvel Wiki when it said in the end that Deadpool was omnisexual, and it said omnisexual, other word is pansexual. So I clicked on the link to see. Then you read what the fuck it says. It said first, pansexual is that you have no sex desire for genders. Then later it said, it have sex desire for all the genders, and I talk about multiple genders. Wait, what? So it have no sex desires and it have sex desires, and you talk about multiple genders? And apparently it's now more inclusive than being bi. I'm like, what the fuck bullshit is that?
It's getting too confusing.
Yeah, especially like you can now like I don't know what one what's it called again. But apparently there is either a sexuality where you can be 1 second you're gay, then you're straight, then you're bi. They have only attraction to like non-binary people. They have only attraction to this or this that. You keep switching whatever you're attracted to. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I've seen. I don't know if this person was joking, but they were making a thread of all the different genders that there are. I think it turned into a. Actually, remember that one?
Yeah, I will say this. Like with bias, it's never like you like men, women equally 50-50. You always lean one more. And that if you round like 50-50, it can switch a little. Like it's not every day like exactly like 30 or 70. It can be something like 31 and 69 or bullshit like that.
Mm-hmm.
It can slide a bit, but it's usually mean bullshit. It's never used, but how they think like one day you complete gay, one day you complete straight. That's completely impossible. And still, what I can say, nobody is 100% certain straight.
Wait, what? Say that again?
Nobody is 100% straight.
Oh yeah, you think so?
I don't know about that.
Well, because there's always going to be people where you think on the street like, oh, that person, like I said, could be still like, oh, it's a beautiful woman, and it turns out to be a very feminine guy. How the fuck would you know that? Sometimes you don't see it, but you still would think the first case the person attractive. That doesn't change later when you think, oh, it's a guy, but you still had for that time that the first was attractive person.
You start punching people in the groin so you find out. Oh.
Yeah, that is not easy to do, but like it could be first like, oh, it's a cute guy, and then it turns out that it actually is a very butchy lesbian or some bullshit like that. How the fuck would you know that always? You don't always see it.
I guess, but I'm thinking more of like, but if you found out, would you date that person? I don't think I would.
But you first thought the person was attractive. That's what I'm saying. You're not like that is still like 99.9 bullshit. So basically it can be 100, but it's never literally 100. Or you have people who like still would like do like 3 ways or bullshit like that. Only just do some guys. Okay, I will do 3 way only. But I want to sleep with a man if that's in 3 way. or some women would only say, "I'll do with other women if it is in a three-way," bullshit like that. But normally they are basically complete straight.
So anytime I say like, man, like like a Hollywood actor or something goes, he's not that bad looking. I guess that means I automatically,
Yeah. No, that was literally there was a discussion that I had with but funny, it was a very Christian housemate who was I kind of agree with it that he said like even he knew he was not actually 100% straight because there were some guys who would like, yeah, I probably would eat some breakfast with the guy.
I find women attractive, right? But I don't want to. Never mind.
I'm saying like it is still like 99.9 bullshit. It's basically 100, but technically it isn't. Same as then, no buy is literally 50-50. It's always one little bit more than the other. Because then, unless you talk literally in absolutes, you have perfection, and that is not possible. We're humans, we're not perfect. Nothing is perfect. There's never really 100%.
Well, she said that she's perfect, so. Honestly.
Yeah, we're watching. I'm watching the chat.
Yeah. Now we're talking about heterosexual and bisexual.
Hey, I'm still bi-curious. Is a thing what a lot of people seem to forget that exists.
Where is the line drawn between being sexually attracted to the same sex versus finding the same sex aesthetically pleasing?
That's what I'm talking about.
I don't know. What's
It is already a pretty weird question because it is a very opposite end type of deal. But you can still find certain people of the same sex attractive enough to have like a trio with them, but that means you still like basically are straight.
Okay, so an article that Circle just put in the chat, from Express, from Express, Syrian refugee with 4 wives and 23 children claims 320,000 pounds a year in benefits. And of course,
pounds. It is not that much comparatively in dollars, shit like that.
So this was back in 2016. It says the migrant known only as Ghazia A fled Syria last year along with his family. Okay.
Family, in quotes. We don't know for certain if they actually are a family.
He has since resettled in Germany with his 4 wives and 22 of his children. One of his daughters has since moved to Saudi Arabia for some reason, where she has married. Okay, well, I don't know why you moved from.
It's definitely better in Saudi Arabia.
Well, if you ask some feminists, they actually say that shit.
Yeah, I know. And then you tell them to move there, and they're like, "I would if I could."
Well, go ahead then. We won't miss you. Well, I don't know the person, so why the fuck would I miss the person?
Well, if it's so feminist, they probably. I mean, I guess they can drive now, so that's one thing.
Well, they only can drive if there's a male in the car with him. They can still not 100% drive on their own.
I think there's like a certain type of there's like a schedule, right? Like you can only drive on these days during these hours.
I don't know, but it's.
But I believe they can only still drive if there's a man in the car because they cannot go out alone without a man. That is apparently either in certain Muslim countries as well. I thought Saudi Arabia had the exact same.
Yeah, you have to have like a family member who's a male come with you. Yeah.
I don't think it has to be particularly a family member. It can be either be a friend of the family.
I know.
As long as there's a male in the car.
Pretty sure it has to be like related to your family though, because wouldn't that be wrong if you're with a man that's not?
So in the article, it says under Islamic tradition, the 49-year-old can have up to 4 wives as long as he can support them financially.
But how's that financially?
Yeah, but according to law here, it is not allowed.
Yeah.
It was the exact same discussion what I had with some idiot who claimed like there is no Sharia parts in certain cities. Like there are, but they are contradicting the laws that are in the EU country. Yeah, they are contradict the laws that are in EU. But the EU people, the leaders don't give a fuck. That is either completely out of the world. Like I still don't know how the fuck they would allow. Why the fuck they allow it? Like the Sharia completely contradicts the law of the EU. How could you allow those laws? I still can not grasp that. Why the fuck that is? I cannot think for any logical reason.
There isn't a logical reason. That's why.
That's why it is so paradoxical. But like, what the control left are doing, they love this vote against cats. Like apparently, pansexual is you are not sexually attracted to genders, and at the same time you are.
Yeah, I don't get it.
So I guess see, and they love this voting against cats. The same thing what I saw with phobias when I looked it up. What said above the page, phobias means irrational fear. Down the page, it said homophobia. They talk about hatred. Hatred and fear are not the same things.
Yeah, the hatred of spiders, right?
There's a spider that burned down the house.
Well, that's either funny talk about spiders. Apparently, the original idea for Spider-Man was actually not just a superhero comic. It was either more meant as a horror type thing. Look at the earliest drawings of him. How unrealistic it looks. How more horror themed it looked. What's it? Nerd Sync had a video about that shit.
Well, you're about to say something.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that we're gonna have to end it here, and we're gonna have to end it here.
Yeah. So, you want to plug your Twitter, and are you going to come back to Twitter?
I think so.
You think so? Okay. Well, if anyone wants to follow Maddness on Twitter, it's at Pure Maddness 1, all one word.
Yeah.
We'll have the link in the description for this live stream.
There's probably nothing interesting to see.
Unless you post.
Right.
But...
Well, the most things that I actually post are usually videos from other people. Like for
sometimes
explain.
Sometimes you reply to things, and they're pretty fun.
Yeah. What I really want to more say, if people want to go subscribe to someone on YouTube, they should subscribe to Minx, although her new channel is called Two Lesbians Play because he's a lesbian. But she is married to Chrism, but Minx lives in UK. Chrism is from the USA. He moved there for marriage, and Minx need to earn a certain amount of money so they can stay married. And thanks to the apocalypse, their marriage became a little bit on the brink of they had to go divorced because a certain time limit have to be we have to keep earning money so you can stay married. And because the apocalypse and YouTube it's love to screw them over, they she cannot earn enough money sometimes. So I'm like, let's try to keep them married because YouTube love fucking well. And Minx cannot get a normal job. Well, if she have to, she must do, but let's try not to because she has anxiety and other shit and a lot of other problems she have. So normal job will be too much stressing out, and that is not good. So I will say, if people want to go watch her videos, and if you can, there is an app that's connected to her. If you watch ads on that app, she can earn money from that, but that doesn't work at my phone, so I don't. That cannot help that way. But if you can help it, try to help out with it.
Okay, if you can give us the link to that, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Where must I send the link? Just in the chat of the.
You can just send it to our DMs.
You can DM it to us or drop it in the chat because we're gonna probably put it in the description and say that you recommended.
Yeah.
Okay. I sent the link from Nico if it and there's either when she makes videos with her when they make this together. I send it in the good thing. When I make videos together, it is the most adorable couple you see together. I'm not joking. I say they are more adorable than Sue and Skeptic together.
Wow. All right. Well, we'll check this out afterwards.
Yeah.
All right.
Like I said, this is the new channel, and most of the videos are still on the old channel. Because the old channel got fucked by YouTube, so they have to try to rebuild things. So
I'm sure we can find it though. We'll find them on Twitter too. So.
Yeah. Well, we're glad that you're back. If you decide to come back on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm glad that you're okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm still living here, so I'm not that okay.
Well, you know what I mean. You're not dead, so.
You talk to us first.
All right. Everybody have a good night.
Technically, on Twitter, I already talked with Peach a little after I saw a new video from her. It was about pills and depression, shit like that. Talked a bit with her, and with Eve, I've talked on Discord. So you're not the first, you're technically the third.
Well, all right then. Okay. Well, okay. Have a good night, everyone.
All right, bye, everyone.
Bye.